Hello.
Then. Now.
Countdown to the queens.
Episode number 500.
Forever.
Looks like hell throws over.
Without any more further ado,
Together.
let's jump straight into the show. Hello, and welcome to episode number, I believe it's 116 of the TEW IX Challenge Run. We're here for Raw for March the 3rd, 2025. We are officially on the beginning of the road to WrestleMania, like proper. You know, it's our next stop. We're 7 weeks away from WrestleMania. And yeah, we'll get there slowly but surely. I've accepted now that we're this far behind. So, you know, we'll get there when we get there. But yes, tonight is the fallout from Roadblock, where we saw Seth Rollins make his choice. He will be facing CM Punk for the WWE Championship in the main event of WrestleMania. We also saw a controversial finish to the Women's Iron Survivor Challenge, where both Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair had the same number of points. They went to overtime, and thanks to some interference by Jade Cargill, Bianca ended up winning that match. So yeah, at the minute, it is Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, but Rhea Ripley sure seems to think she's got a leg into that match. And tonight we've got Cody Rhodes teaming with the Grand Jury to take on the Switchblade F and Guns. We have a Fatal 4-Way for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, and Logan Paul is here. Hide your excitement. And we'll be kicking off the show, where we'll hear for the first time on Raw since before SummerSlam from Seth Rollins. So without any more further ado, let's jump straight into the show. Seth comes out to start the show. He's got the microphone in his hand this time, and he gets into the ring. You know, he strikes the pose, and the crowd's singing his song. And he goes, Oh, it's been so long. It's been so long since I got to do this. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Monday Night Rollins. Now, you all saw the past 4 weeks since the Royal Rumble. I won the Royal Rumble match, and you haven't heard anything from Seth Rollins since then. And I apologize for that. I wanted to come out here and speak to all of you from my heart, but given what we saw at Roadblock, you know, I couldn't, at that moment in time, come out here and express what I wanted to express to you people. So I'm going to do it now. You and I, us, me and you guys, we've had a tumultuous relationship over the years. We have we've had our ups, we've had our downs. But right now, we have a common goal. CM Punk. CM Punk has been WWE Champion since SummerSlam. His goal, and this antidote's goal, is to cleanse the poison of WWE. Well, Punk, for that I have to say, look in the goddamn mirror. Because I can finally come out here and say these things to you now, because I'm back and there's a microphone in my hand on Monday Night Raw, so I'm going to drop a pipe bomb of my own. Punk, I was right about you. I don't want to be the guy that said I told you so, but I feel like in this instance, I have to be the guy that says I told you so. It brings me no joy to do it, but I have to. Now, Phil, he's trying to create WWE in his own image, and that image obviously doesn't include guys like me, guys that he doesn't see eye to eye with, guys that don't flatter him and gas up his ego like these young kids do. Because Punk, I actually have to give it to you. This whole idea of taking these young guys and, you know, getting more out of them, improving their fight and their heart and their desire to be successful here in WWE, create the future of this industry, it's a good one. You know, it's the same goal you had in mind 12 years ago when you pulled myself, Mox, and Roman out of FCW NXT and created the Shield. That worked out pretty well for you, Punk. I've got to give the devil his due there. But this ain't it, Phil. Guys on this roster have tried to step to you. Guys that I respect. Guys who I may not see eye to eye with, but I know I could trust. That's a guy like Cody Rhodes. He failed. You got guys like Damian Priest, LA Knight, Montes Ford, all of these guys who have the world at their feet, and they couldn't get the job done either. So what makes Seth Rollins so special? What makes me think I can be the guy to take that championship from you and end this charade once and for all, Phil? Considering, you know, I've never beaten you. Well, that's exactly why, because this has to be me. Cody came out here and he said he thought it had to be him that did the saving here because he was the guy who created you. Well, Cody, you may have created this monster, but it's mine to put down. I was the guy who cried wolf and nobody around here listened to me until it was too late. So, I'll take this company. I'll place this entire company on my back for the next 7 weeks into WrestleMania and beyond. Because when I walk into WrestleMania in my main event that you just so happen to get to be a part of, Punk, you're welcome, by the way. And I stomp your head into this canvas and I take back that WWE Championship. It won't just be for me. It'll be for every single person in the back who you've screwed over and decided that it didn't fit your mold. It'll be for all of us. That's when Cody Rhodes comes out. So, Buffalo, Seth freaking Rollins, what do you guys want to talk about? Seth, I hate to rain on your parade out here, and that's not exactly what I'm trying to do, but I feel like the last time you and I were face to face in the ring, it was 4 weeks ago. It was the 2 nights after you returned and won the Royal Rumble, and I told you on that night, Seth, how things were going here on Monday Night Raw without you. CM Punk is the WWE Champion, and yes, it is because of me, because I lost to him at SummerSlam, that this all came to be. But more importantly, Seth Rollins, I left you with a question. More so a dilemma on that night. I told you, you've got to be the guy to get this done, Seth. Because we need WrestleMania to be the end of CM Punk's little tirade, his run with that WWE Championship. And I said, if you don't think you've got the guts and the balls and the heart to be the guy to take this company, this brand, put it on your shoulders, waltz into the biggest show of the year, put CM Punk down, then you go and challenge somebody else. And at Roadblock, you had me. I saw you go out there and you challenged Bobby Lashley to start with because you wanted to play mind games with CM Punk, and I respect what you did there, Seth, but I would be lying if I said I wasn't paranoid the first time I heard you mention Bobby Lashley's name, because I thought that after all this time, the Royal Rumble match winner was a quitter. I thought you had made the decision that you couldn't be that guy, Seth, and I'm so glad to see I was wrong. Now, you and I, Lord knows, we've had our differences over the past few years. Seth, I don't like you. You don't like me. We'll probably never be friends, and that's perfectly okay. Because we don't have to be friends. We just have to be allies. Because this is greater than you. It's greater than me. It's greater than CM Punk. We need to do this. And now you've made your choice. And now I know that a world championship match at WrestleMania isn't in my future, I have no choice but to watch your back. And then Jay White comes out. He goes, Seth, you're going to listen to this politician, are you? It's Cody Rhodes out here again trying to manipulate his way into a better spot here on Monday Night Raw. Seth, you are the man who won the Royal Rumble, not Cody Rhodes. You are the man who's going to main event WrestleMania, not Cody Rhodes. So, you can listen to what he's saying right now, or you can trust yourself, Seth. Because you know you've got what it takes to beat CM Punk. Even though, it's not happened yet. I believe in you, Seth. I believe that you can be the guy that saves Monday Night Raw. But as for Cody, he doesn't have your best interests at heart. He just wants you to reverse the damage he's done to this brand over the past 8 months. Okay? You want a loser like Cody Rhodes watching your back? Then by all means, accept his offer. Take him under your back and let him be your shield against CM Punk at WrestleMania. I'm just saying, if I were in your position, I'd have no interest having the guy who's responsible for all this be there trying to take credit for my success once I'm the one who cleans up his mess. Cody goes, you're still on this switch, huh? I thought that you were just trying to get in my head ahead of the Iron Survivor Challenge, but I see that coming out of the Iron Survivor Challenge, you're still a little bitch. Well, it's perfectly fine for you to be a little bitch, Switchblade, because coming up right now, me and those grand jury boys, we're gonna put you and your little friends down, and then maybe then you can finally see what it's like to breathe the air with the American Nightmare. So yeah, our opening match is the 6-man tag team match. Cody Rhodes and the Grand Jury against Switchblade F and Guns. But before then, we cut backstage and we see Rhea Ripley arrive. And she storms through the backstage area. And she sees Bobby Roode's office and she starts angrily thumping on the door going, Bobby, open up. Open this door, Bobby. You know why I'm here. You know what I want. And she just keeps banging on the door and Bobby Roode doesn't answer. And Tatum Paxi walks past. She goes, Mommy, what's all the frustrations? She goes, I haven't got time for your shit today, Tatum. What do you want? Okay, don't you have a championship match tonight? She goes, I do. I thought I would just check up on you and, see if you can give me some advice ahead of my match. Because I gave you your advice last week, Tatum. I truly, see great things in you, but right now I've got my own shit going on, so I can't really worry about your shit. Just go out there and do your best, and I'm sure you can make a name for yourself and become Intercontinental Champion. And Tatum just walks up and goes, Thanks, Mummy, I'll do that. So yeah, that Fatal 4-Way is coming up later on tonight. 79 rated match. Oh, the Guns are in it. I was going to say, why is this? Oh, and I had to keep Cody strong. Yeah, I see. There are a lot of reasons why this match kind of underperformed. But the Switchblade Guns do pick up the win in the 6-man tag team match, pinning or beating Cody Rhodes and the Grand Jury. Jay White pins Bloody Murphy with the Blade Runner because the Antidote Boys, not Punk, just Bronson Steiner and ABC, come out, they get involved, they fight off Cody. Well, ABC probably fight off Priest, Bronson Steiner takes care of Cody, and then that leaves Buddy Murphy to get picked off by the Blade Runner, Jay White pinning him, and yeah, Switchblade Guns pick up a win. Austin Gunn is on the team that beat Cody Rhodes here tonight, huge. Love that for him. 57 for Austin Gunn, 51 for Colton Gunn, 92 for Jay White, 77 for Buddy Murphy, 79 for Damian Priest, 89 for Cody Rhodes. And yeah, big heel win here tonight. But after the match, a big brawl continues to take place. Cody and the Grand Jury Boys fighting the Antidote. Bronson Steiner, of course, still taking care of everybody because he's the powerhouse. And Cody, he tries to fight him off and eventually he gets 3-on-1 taken down by Bronson Steiner and ABC as they leave through the crowd. We then cut backstage. Axiom's just sitting there sort of twiddling his thumbs when Nathan Fraser walks up from him. He goes, right, mate, how you doing? He goes, I've been better, Nathan. You know, it's this whole thing with the tag team championships. I'm trying to figure out, you know, what the best solution is here. And he goes, well, luckily for you, lad, you haven't got to figure out the best solution because I've just spoken to the Raw GM. I've spoken to Bobby Roode. And he agrees this whole thing is nonsense right now, mate. He goes, oh, really? So what's he doing, mate? And he goes, well, we actually come up with a great idea. Okay, so tonight, it's going to be myself against Humberto Carrillo, and next week it's going to be you against Tozawa. And if, you know, say we win both those matches, then it'll be us getting the next shot of the World Tag Team Championships. But if, say, I win one and you lose one, then it goes to a tag team third match. And obviously, if we lose both of them, then it's Path of the Dragon who get the shot. And Fraser goes, oh, next game's like, well, I mean, that seems like a very good solution by Bobby Roode, okay? He goes, yeah, thank Bobby for it. And me, of course, I was there, I gave him the idea. It's sick, innit? But I was thinking, tonight I'm going to beat Humberto, and then you know what you've got to do next week, huh? He goes, I know what I've got to do, Nathan. You know, I'm starting to come around on you. Maybe you do have your head in the right place. And then Axiom walks off and he goes, I thank you, I guess. That's like the nicest thing you've ever said to me, mate. So I'll take it. But yeah, Nathan Fraser versus Humberto Carrillo later on tonight in the first of, I guess, what is a mini-series to determine the next number one contender for the World Tag Team Championships. Then cut to Jaida Parker. You know, she's doing one of those promos where she's kind of put up ahead of her match. She's against Tam of J-Flow. Because last week, that K-pop, J-pop girl got all up in my business and I told her why Miss Parker is up next, okay? She's been around here having fun singing her heart out for years right now, but okay, but this is no time for having jokes and playing games. This is WrestleMania season. There's championships up for grabs. And sure, Stephanie's defending against 3 challengers tonight, but after tonight, I'm taking my claim. Jaida Parker will be the next Women's Intercontinental Champion. It starts tonight when I put another one of those J-pop girls in the dirt. And Mackie, if you want to try getting involved again, let me just tell you this. Your music sucks, okay? You ain't never gonna be successful singing or wrestling, okay? Whereas me, I'm Jaida Parker. I'm a dual sport athlete. I'm both. And I'm gonna beat your girl's ass right here, right now. And she goes out for the match. Gets a 51. They just don't click at all, okay? I feel like that's not the first time that's happened with Jaida and somebody, but sure. Whatever. She's slowly getting built up. Tam was getting angry at losing this, you know. So I had to keep her strong as well. There's a lot of that on this show, funnily enough. But yeah, Jaida does pin Tam in 9 minutes and 1 with the Hypnotic. 34 for Jaida, 57 for Tam. And yeah, nice little win for Jaida Parker. Then after the match, she keeps on celebrating. Mackie gets into the ring. She gets into the face of Jaida Parker. Jaida shoves Mackie back. Mackie shoves Jaida back. Jaida smacks Mackie. Mackie smacks Jaida back. And the two women just start hockey fighting in the middle of the ring. They spills to the outside. And they just brawl around the ringside. And they end up brawling all the way to the back. Just exchanging like hockey fists. You know, that spot where they just keep throwing punches back and forth. Like, it's supposed to look goofy, but, you know, it's funny. Because it's Mackie. It's not supposed to, you know. Well, she can be serious, I guess. But, you know, she can also be funny. But yes, her and Jaida brawl to the back. We then see Bayley backstage. When Cora Jade and Roxy Perez approach her. And Cora goes, look who it is, Rox. It's Bayley. It's a loser. Okay, I thought you were going to win the Iron Survivor Challenge. I thought you were going to WrestleMania again, Bayley. Huh? What happened? Last year you main evented WrestleMania and you became the Women's Champion. This year, well, it's not looking good for Bayley to get on WrestleMania, right, Rox? And she goes, no, it's not. Do you know who is going to go to WrestleMania as the champion this year? I am. You are, Cora. Because we made the right choice, whereas Bayley, she could have been among us in this part of this antidote, part of this cleanse of WWE, but she said no. Now, you know, we've had a lot of friends along the way. We've got more friends who are buying into our beliefs. But Bayley, after all we've been through, I'm a little disappointed you didn't eventually come around. But it's fine, because we don't need a loser like you around anyway. Bayley goes, are you done? And Corey goes, not yet. You also suck, Bayley, and I'm better than you now. Okay, now I'm done. Bayley goes, well, there's a lot of big talk saying you're going to WrestleMania as a champion, considering you've got a tag team title defense on Friday. And you're supposed to have Nova in your corner, but I don't see Nova with you right now, okay? So she's supposed to be part of this anecdote, but she never actually joined you, did she? Because it was never actually about Nova or anybody else other than yourself and CM Punk. And I saw that, and you're angry that I saw that early. And you're still mad about everything that's happened between us and, Evolution last year and me defending my championship against you. But I get it. So, how about it? Tonight, in the main event, I face you, Roxy. And Roxy goes, fine, bring it on. Yeah, you're going to see why I am the prodigy, why I am the woman who's been tasked by CM Punk, the WWE Champion, to carry this brand into the future. And why you, Bayley, are a has-been. Somebody I used to look up to who I'm now better than. See you tonight. So yeah, Roxy and Bayley, that is our main event tonight. Yeah, imagine running that match as a singles match on the road to WrestleMania. Who'd have thought? But then cut back. Kathy Kelly is with Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser. She says, Imperium, Saturday night wasn't your night at Roadblock when you two faced off against Daniel Bryan and Trick Williams, and Ludwig cuts it. He goes, Daniel Bryan and Trick Williams got lucky on Saturday night, Kathy Kelly. And as the vocal man of Imperium, I must take the blame. You see, the ring general Gunther has demolished Trick Williams every single time he stepped into the ring with him. And Daniel Bryan, it'll be no different whenever he gets to step into the ring one-on-one with the ring general. But I was caught lacking at Roadblock, and thus I lost the match for myself and the ring general Gunther. However, Kathy Kelly, next week here on Monday Night Raw, it's a very big show. It's Monday Night Raw coming to Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena, and I can't think of a better time to do a little cross promotion. So Daniel Bryan, if your voice is in hearing distance of Ludwig Kaiser, then how about next week you show back up to Monday Night Raw and you get that beating from Ludwig Kaiser that you were supposed to get at Roadblock, and then you'll think twice before stepping to the ring general. And then as the interview ends, they walk away. As Kathy Kelly's about to sign off, we see Jada and Mackie still this hockey fight, and they brawl past the interview area. She goes, well, I don't know what's going on there. Okay, those girls really seem to be going at it. But back to you at ringside. 74. Sure. Nathan Fraser and Humberto. Fraser is still a little bit not over, obviously because he did the year in prison. But he's getting there, so again, Humberto had to be kept strong here because that's actually the third keep strong now I've had to use in a row on this show. But it's fine. But Nathan Fraser does pick up the win. He pins Humberto Carrillo with the Phoenix Splash in 13:45. 62 for Fraser, 76 for Humberto, 74 for the match. So yeah, Nathan Fraser picks up the first win here. So next week, in MSG, it will be Axiom taking on Akira Tozawa in singles action. And if Axiom wins that, then I guess Axiom get the next shot of the tag team championships. But if he doesn't, then we go to a tiebreaker game. And yeah. We then cut back to the Becky locker room. And Becky, for the first time in her life, is dejected. Her, Stargirl, Bird Girl, and Kelly all lost at Roadblock. She sort of just looks around. She goes, this place used to be a temple. This place used to be great. But now, we were all supposed to walk in here. I was supposed to walk in here today, the winner of the Iron Survivor Doodah. And Kelly and my Stargirl were supposed to walk in here, the tag team champions. But that's not the case because we all came up short. Now whose fault is that? And Lyra raises her hand. She goes, yes, Bird Girl. She goes, let me guess, it's mine? And Becky sort of like looks at her and goes, Bird Girl, you did your best. And Lyra actually kind of looks a little shocked by that. She goes, oh, I did? She goes, yes. Because, Bird Girl, let me tell you why I am so proud of you. You were by far the polar bear in Arlington, Texas, in that Iron Survivor Challenge. You see, you've got WrestleMania main eventers on every side of the ring. Me, of course, the biggest star in the women's division. Bayley, the woman who beat me for the championship in the main event of WrestleMania last year. Rhea Ripley, another woman who beat me in the main event of WrestleMania for the championship. I've said Jessica Patton, but which had Bianca Belair, who also main evented WrestleMania and won the Royal Rumble and became women's champion. And there's a little old Jew. So you knew damn well what your role was in that match, Bird Girl, and you played it to perfection. You were the loser. You were my pin eater. You were there to ensure that I got points. And it was me who let you down. You did your job, Bird Girl. You let me beat you twice. So now I have to look in the mirror for the first time in my life and think, was Becky Stardust the problem? Did I let everybody down? It's not a feeling I'm used to. But you three all look up to me and need me as an idol. So we cannot be doom and gloom forever. Next week, we all go out there. We are going to bring the house down at the world's most famous arena, the world's most famous wrestler in the world's most famous arena. It's a match made in heaven. And together, all four of us are going to create magic. Leave it with me. Kelly, Stargirl, you two will get there. Bird Girl, I love you. I couldn't have got as close as I did without you. You are invaluable to me. And she walks off, and Kelly and Billy sort of look at each other awkwardly. Because the line goes, oh, well, what's gone into her? Lyra goes, I don't know. Just a quick video package. I had nothing really for AJ and Finn to do this week, so we'll give them the week off. They just get like the history of AJ Styles and Finn Balor video package. Hopefully we get permission to use... Actually, no, we definitely... No, not to spoil some things, but we definitely get the permission to use some, like, Bullet Club footage, or at least photos. But yeah, the history of AJ Styles and Finn Balor. You know it, we know it. We then see Bianca Belair come to the ring. She goes, ladies and gentlemen, Buffalo. WrestleMania is just around the corner. And now we all know that you can't spell WrestleMania without E-S-T. Now, the Iron Survivor Challenge, it's been a thing in NXT for the past few years, but the main roster guys, you guys got your first taste of it on Saturday night. And the woman who goes down as the first ever winner of the Iron Survivor Challenge of any kind on the WWE main roster is me. Now, Jade's a woman I've had my eyes on for a long time. A lot of people, when she came here, said that, she was going to replace me. Jade thought she was the alpha around here, but that was never the case because Bianca Belair is the alpha and the franchise and everything else. So Jade, you want to take that championship to WrestleMania, be my guest. But just know what awaits you is a reality check. What awaits you is you not being able to walk straight to the top of the division because I'm waiting there to kick you down the mountain. The Greek mountain that this goddess was built on is going to see Jade Cargill tumble all the way down to the bottom. We saw how you recovered last time that happened at WrestleMania last year. Let's see how you can do it again but this time at the courtesy of the EST. Rhea Ripley storms out. Just Bianca, you're out here running your mouth. Okay. Now I see, if I'd won the Iron Survivor Challenge, I'd also be coming out here and I'd be dressing down Jade Cargill, a woman who I've had a lot of history with, and I'd be telling her to watch her back heading into WrestleMania because I'd be putting her down. So in that respect, you're doing everything I would do, Bianca, but the difference between me and you is that if I'd have won the Iron Survivor Challenge, I'd have done it fair and square. I'd have stacked you up and pinned you fair and square, like I did during the match 3 times to other women. But yet, Jade Cargill comes to the ring and she screws me. So you can sit here and run Jade down all you want. Try and pretend to these people that you and Jade aren't in cahoots to keep the championship off me. Because we all saw what we all saw at Roadblock, okay? And I'm not the sort of person who can sit back and take that shit lying down. So, Bianca, congratulations on your WrestleMania Championship match. Let's see if you can make it there. And then Rhea Ripley headbutts Bianca Belair. A big brawl breaks out between the two. Bobby Roode comes out. He goes, "Girls, enough. Rhea, I understand your frustrations. I'm as annoyed as you were that the finish to the first Women's Iron Survivor Challenge here on the main roster is now tainted because Jade got involved. But Bianca Belair won. She is the Iron Survivor. She's going to WrestleMania whether you like it or not, Rhea. Now, you and I, we can discuss things another time, but what I need you to do right now is leave that ring. And don't you dare jeopardize my Women's Championship match at WrestleMania." And Rhea, looks across at Bianca. Bianca sort of just, shrugs her shoulders. She's ready to continue fighting, to be honest. Even she's a little bit annoyed to have the fight stopped. But Rhea, turns her head between Bianca and Bobby. Eventually, just throws her hands up in the air and storms out through the crowd. No, not through. She can't go through the crowd, sorry. She goes through the back. She shoulder checks by Rude on her way back and then goes back through Gorilla. Because, as she gets into Gorilla, Tatum Paxley's in there warming up for the 4-way. Goes, "Mommy, how'd it go?" She goes, "I'm not in the mood, Tatum, okay? Just win your goddamn match yourself." And she storms off. And Tatum's like, "Oh, Mommy seems angry. I best leave her alone." And then our music plays and we head into the fatal 4-way for the Intercontinental Championship, which gets a 90. I'm actually kind of impressed with that, considering it's a mid-card Women's Championship match, and, well, there's a lot of moving parts in the finish here. So yes, it's Stephanie Vaquer, Tatum Paxley, Piper Niven, Tegan Knox. Stephanie, she's been the champion since the Netflix premiere. She won the Women's Intercontinental Climax. But there's only a 25% chance he walks out of this here with the championship. And during the match, we see Tiffany Stratton just walk out. She takes a seat at ringside. She's watching it on. Because she's sort of decided herself that she's the next number 1 contender for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. And so she's sitting there at ringside, and then Stephanie looks at her all weird, what are you doing out here? She goes, no, don't be distracted by me, keep on wrestling. We want to see who Tiffy Time's going to win the championship from. During the match, Tiffany walks up to the championship up on the podium thing, and she picks it up, starts wearing with it, posing with it. Mariah's out there taking pictures of Tiffany holding the belt, and everybody in the match is getting angry at this. And eventually, Alexa Bliss does appear. She brawls with Tiffany and Co at ringside, and that distracts everybody in the ring. And eventually, Stephanie Vaquer nails Tegan Knox with the spiral tap and retains the championship. So defense number 4 of the Intercontinental Championship made for Stephanie Vaquer. 83 for Tegan, 75 for Piper, 71 for Tatum, and 89 for Stephanie. Nice retention. 3 women defeated, but there's a hullabaloo at the ringside between Tiffany and Alexa, and that sort of spills into the ring after the match, and Stephanie sort of just watches it as Tiffany and Alexa brawl. But then the crowd starts murmuring, because out from Gorilla, Mackie and Jaida Parker, they're still brawling with each other. Mackie tosses Jaida down. She, stumbles into the ring. That fight continues. And Tiffany and Alexa's fight sort of, stops. And Mackie gets to her feet. She bumps into Tiffany. And then Tiffany smacks Mackie in the face. And now she's fighting Tiffany as well. She's, trying to throw hands with Tiffany and Jaida. Alexa has to try and come to the aid of Mackie. She starts fighting off Jaida and Tiffany. Stephanie's there just watching this all. Tegan and Piper, on the ramp, sort of just what the fuck's happening here? Tatum's outside, up against the barricade, head in her hands, frustrated that she couldn't become the champion. But yeah, a chaotic scene in the women's midcard here on Raw. I wonder where this is heading. We then see a video sent in by CM Punk. They play it. They say, we don't know the contents of this video, but CM Punk has sent it to us, and we're going to play it because he's the WWE Champion. And it's just Punk sat at home. And he goes, "Congratulations, Seth. You get to be the hero of your story. You're going to main event WrestleMania one more time, and you get to do it against me." CM Punk finally gets the main event of WrestleMania. When I came back to WWE last year, everybody knew that me main eventing WrestleMania was my goal. I made that perfectly clear over the last 10 years when I left this place that I wasn't happy not main eventing WrestleMania. So Seth, once I saw you win the Royal Rumble, I wasn't happy about it. Because, quite frankly, I've already beaten you twice before. I fought you at WrestleMania last year. Why would I want to wrestle you at WrestleMania again? I want to wrestle some new people. I want to see some new faces step up, because you've already proven that you're not on my level, Seth. But you held that key that I needed to make my dreams come true, Seth. So as much as I'd hate to admit it, I'm gonna be the bigger man here and say it. Thank you, Seth. Thank you for choosing me as your opponent at WrestleMania. It's truly going to be an honor to main event WrestleMania for the first time in my career and finally be that shining light in this company that it needs. But Seth, I want to make sure that you know what you've done. Because you could have quit. You could have stayed over in Japan where you were after you walked out of this place after SummerSlam. You could have left for 10 years like I did. But here you are back for one last rodeo, Rollins. Thinking you can be the guy that can take the championship from CM Punk. And wouldn't you just love that? Wouldn't you love that, Seth? To end my vision, to end my takeover of this industry. But Seth, WrestleMania is going to be a nightmare for you. My dreams are going to come true and your nightmares are going to become reality, because once I put you down yet again, like I have every single other time you and I have faced off in that ring, you'll have to sit there and think about how you let the entire world down. You could have been the guy, Seth, to stop me doing what I said I was going to do and what you so desperately hated that I wanted to do. And that's changed this place. But after WrestleMania, when I'm still WWE Champion, after I've won the main event of WrestleMania for the first time in my career, Seth, I'll thank you. I'll pull you to your feet, I'll shake your hand, Seth, and I'll say, good job, kid. You might just have a future here. And maybe, just maybe, the CM Punk era of WWE that will continue long after WrestleMania can find a role for Seth Rollins. Or we can take you, we can take your wife, and everybody else who you hold so dear, and I can make their life hell. That's the choice that you're gonna have to live with. See you in Vegas, Seth. Hell no, let's see you in Vegas. I'll be at Madison Square Garden next week. If you've got a problem with anything I just said to you, well, you'll come next week and tell me off to my face, right? Because that's what you love to do. You love to shout the loudest, Seth. Especially when it comes to CM Punk. Let's see if you can back it up. Speaking of talking the loudest, out comes Logan Paul. Goes, "What's up, Buffalo?" Oh boy, it's been a long ass time since I stood in this room with a microphone. But I know you've all missed me. Monday Night Raw ain't the same without the Maverick on it. Now, Netflix premiere. I had to make sure I made time to appear on that show, and I did. I was there. I didn't compete, but you saw me. Okay, I made sure everybody knew I was there. The Royal Rumble, the road to WrestleMania kicking off, Logan Paul had to make sure he'd be there. Now, in a perfect world, I'm the guy who's saving WWE, because I'm the guy who's beating CM Punk at WrestleMania, but that ain't gonna happen. That guy, LA Knight, he cost us the chance of seeing Logan Paul be WWE Champion. I know you all hate him for that. So, LA Knight, you've got nothing else going on in your life like I do, so I know damn well you're back there tonight in Buffalo. I've got some things I need to say to you, so get your dumb ass out here and let me say them to your face. Out comes LA Knight. He goes, "Let me talk to you." And he takes his sunglasses off, he sort of rubs them and cleans them and then puts them back on. He goes, "Logan Paul. Guys, that's Logan Paul in the ring, right? Yeah. I'm just confused because Logan Paul just called somebody else a dumbass. I mean, that's like LA Knight coming out here and calling somebody else a megastar. It just don't happen. Because Logan Paul, I only see one dumbass here tonight, and it ain't me, it ain't any of the fine people of Buffalo, New York. It's your ass. Now, Logan, did I eliminate you from the Royal Rumble and cost you your spot at the main event of WrestleMania to become WWE Champion? Yeah. Would I do it all over again? Yeah. But Logan Paul, listen to me real quick. There was one thing you said just now that I do agree with. You came out here and you said that Monday Night Raw without, the Maverick, is that what you call yourself? That's your dumbass nickname? You said Monday Night Raw without the Maverick, it ain't the same. And you're right, Logan. We can all agree Monday Night Raw around here isn't the same when you're running around, Logan. Because it's a hell of a lot better without you. Yeah. Now, this thing between you and I, you started it back at the Netflix premiere when you threw that dumbass hydration drink in my face. And I got a taste of it. And me having to get a taste of that shitty ass drink, that's what ticked me off the most. More than anything you've done in your life and in that ring. So now, Logan, we're going to have a problem. You sent your dumbass goons after me a couple of weeks ago. You cost me the chance to be the Iron Survivor. So, Logan Paul, let me tell you this and let me make this perfectly clear. You and I, we are going to have a fight. One day, you and I are going to share this ring. And when that day happens, Logan Paul, do you want me to give you a little spoiler about how things work here in WWE? Because I'm more than willing to do it. They probably won't like this in the back, me giving away spoilers like this, but trust me, I can do it. You're going to come out here, you're going to wow the audience with one of your new wrestling moves that you learned watching YouTube compilations. You're going to pull it off, and this crowd's going to go, holy crap, look at Logan Paul, what a great wrestler he is, what an athlete he is. But at the end of the night, it doesn't matter how many cool moves you know. It's about the kavorka, the tingle in your loins, and what gets you going. And whether or not you've got it, Logan Paul. And I don't know if you've got it, but I know LA Knight's got it. So I'm going to stomp your ass out, put you in the canvas, and stand tall over your dumbass body. Yeah. That's when Logan Paul's jumped by Cameron Grimes of the Prime Goon Association, and he attacks LA Knight, and Logan Paul just laughs as he does, and we end up getting a match, LA Knight versus Cameron Grimes, Logan Paul at ringside for it. It doesn't go very long. LA Knight puts Grimes down with the BFT in 3 minutes and 33, 85 for LA Knight, 64 for Cameron Grimes. And yeah, big win for LA Knight. Well, not a big win. Again, I say big win like default, but this isn't big at all. It's quite possibly one of the smallest possible wins he could have got, but he got it. And then after the match, LA Knight celebrating when Logan Paul jumps him in the ring. He nails the pulverizer. This is the first time we see that move, because it was the match with Ray where he qualified for the Chamber, which would have been like a couple of weeks before this in real life, where he did that move for the first time. And I think it's fitting because we had the line in the promo about him learning new moves from like watching YouTube shit. So there it is. There's a sick ass new Logan Paul finisher that you can all go, oh fuck me, Logan Paul's so good, look at that move he did, and then go on to continue mentioning about how other actual good wrestlers are bad because they just do moves, but you know, that's all Logan Paul does, but apparently he's sick. Sure. Anyway, yeah, he drops LA Knight with the pulverizer. Big. We then cut to the crowd, where we see Angelo Dawkins in the front row of his wife, and Kathy Kelly approaches him. She goes, Angelo Dawkins, you're over here from Friday Night SmackDown. And he goes, yeah, fam. You know, last week Raw was just such a laugh, such a hoot. You know, I thought I'd get the fan back involved. You know, spending another week on Monday Night Raw, we paid those ridiculous-ass prices for tickets here tonight, but I wouldn't miss this show for the world, because I love Buffalo, New York. I love Monday Night Raw, and I love WWE. So, Kathy, don't pay no mind to me. I'm just here to check out the competition, you know, see what's going on in the wonderful world of sports entertainment, and, you know, bring the next guys out here for the match. And Kathy's like, well, that's actually why we did come to see you, Angelo, because we kind of want you to not be here for the next match because you got involved and distracted Montes Ford a week ago. I never got involved. Just Tez can't concentrate because I'm in the crowd cheering him on, and it's Tez's own fault. That's when Montes Ford's music hits, because he is in action in the next match against Wes Lee. And it gets an 80. Relatively short match. Wes Lee picks up the win because Angelo Dawkins distracted Montes Ford again. This time more overtly. This time he actually, you know, gets in the face of Montes Ford as he goes to ringside. Tez tries to jump the barricade and get him. You know, Dawkins is like telling him to turn around and watch it. He gets back into the ring. Wes Lee low blows him and then pins him. 84 for Montes Ford, 87 for Wes Lee. But yeah, Big Dorks for the second week in a row attends Monday Night Raw as a fan. And for the second week in a row screws Montes Ford. But this time Tez ain't taking it lying down. Tez is pissed off. He goes over to Dawkins and his wife in the crowd, and he starts getting in the face of Angelo Dawkins, like, what the fuck you doing? Like, you don't go here, like, fuck off. And Dawkins, like, hides behind his wife as Tez starts getting aggressive. He goes, hey, you can't hit her, Tez, you can't hit her. You know, that's my wife. And that's when Jakara Jackson storms out. And she comes down to ringside, and she gets in the face, and she smacks Angelo Dawkins, his wife, in the face. And obviously this pisses the fuck off Angelo Dawkins, and he gets angry. He starts to, like, try and throw hands at Montes Ford, but obviously security has to try and come and pull him away and take him out of the building because he's technically only a fan because he bought a ticket and he's not actually a competitor here on Raw. But yeah, Jakara Jackson, she's here. I did say when, like, they were gone, her and Ora Mensah were gone for a bit, and I knew this angle was coming. I was like, yeah, you know, they'll be back at some point when I need them, because this could have been Bianca, but she's doing her own shit, so fuck it, Chikara can do it. Next week, it's Monday Night Raw live from the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden, and we have a pretty stacked show for the MSG show, including the return of John Cena's Intercontinental Championship Open Challenge. The greatest of all time will not be getting the shot to become a 17-time world champion at WrestleMania. He came up short in the Iron Survivor Challenge. No, he wasn't even in it. Yeah, he didn't qualify for it, and he wasn't at Roadblock. But he will be here next week to bring an open challenge to MSG for the Intercontinental Championship. Plus, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, one building, one roof, face-to-face. The first proper face-to-face confrontation they've had in a long time. But, yes, the Royal Rumble winner, the WWE Champion, the two main eventers of WrestleMania will be face-to-face next week. Plus, two big matches set for the show, including SmackDown's Daniel Bryan, who will be coming over for 1 week as he takes on Ludwig Kaiser of Imperium. And also Axiom versus Akira Tozawa. We saw Nathan Fraser beat Humberto Carrillo earlier on tonight. Next week, Axiom has the chance to win and get for Axiom a next shot at the championship. All he's got to do is beat Humberto Carrillo. Oh, to beat Akira Tozawa even. Plus, we heard from Becky Stardust. She will be here next week in the world's most famous arena, hosting what she's calling the Becky Stardust Celebration of Life. Who knows what that's all about? Guess we'll have to wait and find out next week what she's cooking there. 94 rated main event. Let's fucking go. That's a lot better than I thought it. I don't know what I thought it was going to get, but not a 94. Let's put it that way. Yeah, Roxy Perez beats Bayley, thanks to interference by Cora Jade. Which you'd think Cora would be happy about, but she is. But also on one hand, she's also a little bit annoyed because she wants to beat Bayley, and she still hasn't, but Roxy has. So, yeah. 79 for Bayley, 87 for Roxy. And yeah, nice win for Roxy Perez in the main event. After the match, Cora gets into the ring, and her and Cora start assaulting Bayley. And yeah, they attack Bayley. Cora plants Bayley with the DDT. They go to continue the attack, 2-on-1 attack on Bayley. When outstorms AJ Lee. Nova Nebula, she makes her way out at this point. She's got to try and even the odds because AJ comes out and she takes down Cora Jade. Bayley's up on her feet trying to take down Roxy Perez. And Nova comes down. She stands at ringside, ready to get into the ring and join the fight. But then she sort of realizes, no, I don't even really like these people. So she sort of just backs away and lets Bayley and AJ take down Cora and Roxy. They skirt out of the ring. They scurry up the ramp with their belts next to Nova, hiding behind her, not knowing that Nova just, left them to die. But, yeah, AJ Lee's back, and her and Bayley stand tall to win the show. AEA show. Sure, we'll take that. Too much Jaida Parker, apparently. Whatever. But, yeah, well, that's more like you thought of the show. Do let me know what you thought in the comments below, and I'll see you on the other side now for Heat. There's actually a pretty good rating here. Heat kicks off with a match I was actually quite interested in. It's Nene Irizawa and Tracy Sharrow of Next Gen taking on Morgan and Zayda of the Learning Tree. Morgan now has to tag with Zayda, I guess, temporarily because Kaya Saint is still out after, Candice LeRae killed her a couple of weeks ago. But, this is interesting because this is Zayda, who is, she's by far the weakest in this match, but she's the only, real wrestler in it, because this is 3 regens against each other. And they actually do pretty good. 74 for Nene, 72 for Tracy, 64 for Morgan, and 36 for Zayda. So yeah, she is the weakest link. I guess because my performance centers are pretty overpowered. So, the dilemma of regens for me is, I've got plenty that are probably good enough to be called up, but I've got to think of characters for them all. So it's just easier for me to call up real wrestlers who already have those pre-existing. This is why, some people... Oh, we're going on an absolute tangent here. Why, the C-verse stuff, I never do C-verse in this game. It is something that I do, it does interest me. It's just, A, I've got to do a bunch of research, and B, it's playing off of wrestlers that I don't know because they don't exist. But, I guess that is part of the appeal, is you can do whatever you want, because it is, basically a blank canvas. But, I just like having that base. Like, to me, I could have got a regen, and I could have gone, this is my regen. I'm going to give this regen, the Ziggy Stardust character and all that. But it's just not as fun as doing it with Becky. So, like, yeah. But I'm on an absolute tangent here. Regen's good. Basically, good skills, but I don't know how many I'm actually going to use in the series because I have to think of unique characters for them all, because I don't want to just call up regens and them just be, this guy is just a regen, he's a fucking wrestler, his gimmick is that he wrestles, because then he basically just becomes a Mary Sue, and like, that always gives me an ick, personally. No offense to you, if you have your own regen in your game, and he's like really good, and he's the champion and stuff, like, everyone plays the game differently. It's just, if I'm using regens, they'll have, like, fun characters. Like, for example, Kathy Cool is the one from Next Gen who is the champion right now over the others because she, existed before this save. She's a regen that me and my friend made in one of his saves a couple of years ago. And she has the gimmick, she's got, the whole ringmaster, like, look and shit, like the ringleader thing. So if Next Gen were to ever break up, she has something to fall on, whereas the others don't really at the minute. But yeah, that's my tangent on regens and why most of them will only ever be mid-carders. But yeah. Another tag team match. These are all actual women's wrestlers. It's the Page Sisters against Ruca and Zoe Stark. It is the Page Sisters pick up the win. I'm always hesitant to run this match on Heat because, like, this in my mind, the video of, like, that was going around on Twitter of every WWE main event, and Apollo Crews was in it like a million times, and, like, yeah. To me, that's what this match is for my version of Heat, because these are, like, the two mid-card women's tag teams. So I feel like they wrestle each other all the time. It turns out they hadn't actually wrestled each other just in a tag match since November, so I did it here. I wanted to give the Page Sisters a nice win, but I can tell you with 100% certainty that this will be the last time they ever have a tag team match together. Because after the match, Zoe Stark drops Ruca with the Z360. And she walks out on her tag team partner. The greatest women's tag team of all time, Ruca and Zoe Stark. They never got a name. They never got titles. They barely even got a program. But they sure did help establish Ruca on the roster, because she's got, like, relative popularity right now. And believe it or not, it's actually Zoe that I have the plans for here. I have post-WrestleMania plans for Zoe Stark that require her being well, they don't require her being solo, but they require her not being with Ruca. But yes. So I want to do the turn now and the feud now before WrestleMania, so I can start doing that once WrestleMania is over. 58 rated match. Okay, sure. Mariah May versus Thea Hale. Here's Thea Colton. She's still alive. Again, she is. Say it with me. Like every other mid-carder. Not factored into WrestleMania plans, so she's not really getting much TV time at the minute. That's becoming my catchphrase over WrestleMania season. But she's here on Heat. She faces Mariah May in a close effort. I was actually torn who I wanted to put over here, but I thought I'd give Mariah the win. It doesn't hurt Thea at all. They're basically bang on exactly the same popularity. So yeah, as you can tell by the ratings as well, 59 for Thea and 59 for Mariah. But yeah, nice win for Mariah May. And a 77 rated main event, Liv Morgan versus Raquel Rodriguez. What tag team? I don't know what you're talking about. They've never teamed before in their life. Liv does defeat Raquel in 14 minutes and 3 with an Oblivion. 75 for Liv, 67 for Raquel. So this is all on Liv yet, because even as much as I may try to for agenda purposes, can't say that Raquel carried this, because it's Raquel. But yeah, these two women who have never shared a ring in their life in any form in Challenge Run have a pretty good match to close out Heat. 73 red show. Yeah, actually a pretty long episode of Heat because I spent a lot of it rambling. But I don't know about you guys, but once I go on a tangent, like, I enjoy just ranting. So I hope you do too. But what matters more is what you thought of the show, mainly of Raw. Do leave on the comments below, and I'll see you next time for ECW with the fallout from Roadblock. Jacob Fatu is the number 1 contender for the ECW World Championship. He'll face Warden at WrestleMania, so I guess he's now officially a member of the ECW roster. So I have to see what that's all about. All that and more next time. See you then.